Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever stared at a canvas and felt that something was just slightly off but you couldn't exactly put your finger on it, well, you are in the perfect place. Today, we're jumping right into the practical toolkit of visual composition. We're going to look at how to take those chaotic, frustrating designs and transform them into crystal clear, professional layouts.
We're kicking things off with a super common hurdle. Think about it. You can have breathtaking typography and vibrant colors, but if your layout is chaotic, your message is completely lost. We've literally all been there, right? You spend hours hunting for the absolute perfect font, tweaking a color palette until it just sings, only to realize that the best ingredients in the world won't save a disjointed layout. Without structure, all that beauty is just noise.
So to get our canvas organized, we're going to follow a simple 5-stage roadmap. 1. The invisible design glue. 2. Laying the visual foundation. 3. Directing the viewer's eye. 4. Space, balance, and mood. And 5. Tying it all together.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the invisible design glue, or what holds it all together.
Okay, so we're talking about the hidden forces at play in literally every great piece of visual media. Composition is basically the practice of arranging elements to guide the viewer's eye, communicate hierarchy, and evoke a specific emotional response. And here's the thing you really need to keep in mind. Great design isn't just about raw artistic talent. Not at all. Composition is the invisible glue holding a piece together. It's your ultimate problem-solving toolkit. It's this silent underlying framework that tells your audience exactly what they should look at and how they should feel about it, all without them ever consciously realizing they're being guided. It's kind of like magic, but it's totally intentional.
Moving right along to section 2, laying the visual foundation. We're talking grids and structure here.
Look, without a hidden structure underneath your work, a design's going to feel amateurish and sloppy really fast. So let's talk about the famous rule of thirds. First, you just divide your canvas into a 3x3 grid. Second, actively avoid placing your main subject dead center. And third, align your primary subjects directly on those intersecting lines. Following these steps creates this amazing natural flow and dynamic tension. It actively prevents the viewer's eye from just lazily settling in the middle of the page and forces it to travel around. It's a real game changer that takes a layout from feeling totally accidental to highly intentional. Now, building right on top of that grid is alignment. Think of alignment as the hidden grid connecting every single part of your design. Seriously, nothing screams amateur quite like haphazardly placed elements that are off by just a couple of pixels. Our eyes are incredibly sensitive to things being even slightly out of place. So the big takeaway here is to use your software's alignment tools religiously. Doing so ensures your elements have clear, undeniable relationships with one another. It gets rid of that sloppy, misaligned look and instantly elevates your whole project to a crisp, professional standard.
Let's keep this momentum going. Section 3. Directing the viewer's eye, also known as the viewer's journey.
Humans are naturally wired to look for patterns and order, By mapping out the visual journey intentionally, we make sure the viewer doesn't get frustrated and just click away or turn the page. We establish a powerful visual hierarchy using 3 key tools. First, scale. The largest elements are almost always perceived as the most important. Second, color. Bright, high-contrast colors demand immediate attention over softer, muted tones. And third, white space. Giving an element space allows it to literally breathe on the page. When you combine these 3 tools, you are in total control. You can guarantee that the headline is read first, the supporting copy second, and the call to action absolutely last.
Another huge tool for directing the eye is proximity. Grouping related items instantly reduces cognitive load. Think about a standard business card, right? If you group a name, a phone number, and a social handle together in one corner, the viewer subconsciously assumes they're all related. But if you were to just scatter those items all over the card, the brain has to work incredibly hard to decode that puzzle. Proximity just helps the brain process information so much faster by creating clear, distinct functional units.
On to section 4, space, balance, and mood. Think of this as interior design for your canvas.
To set the right atmosphere, we really have to tackle that massive beginner's urge to fill up every single pixel. You've got to embrace negative space to strip away the noise and signal elegance. White space isn't just an empty spot where you forgot to put something. It's an active, highly powerful design element. Just look at high-end luxury brands. They almost never crowd their ads. They use massive amounts of white space to give the eye a place to rest, which screams exclusivity, elegance, and supreme confidence. By stripping away all that visual clutter, you actually make the essential parts of your design speak much, much louder.
Now, how you distribute visual weight dictates the entire emotion of your design.
Let's compare two totally distinct approaches. Symmetrical balance is like a mirror image. It's stable, predictable, and conveys classic elegance or authority. That makes it absolutely perfect for corporate or luxury identities. On the flip side, we have asymmetrical balance. This is where you balance a large, simple object with smaller, highly detailed ones. This feels energetic, provocative, and incredibly modern. It literally forces the viewer to engage more actively with the piece, making the whole thing feel so much more live.
All right, bringing it home with Section 5, tying it all together. The finishing touches. To really see how all these foundational pieces build a unified, recognizable identity, you need to understand repetition and consistency. This means intentionally reusing visual elements, like your specific fonts, color schemes, or shapes, throughout your entire body of work. This repetition serves two huge purposes. First, it creates unity, making your project feel like a single, cohesive, well-thought-out entity. Second, it is absolutely crucial for instantaneous brand recognition. By repeatedly using the exact same visual language, we create an instant link in the viewer's mind. They shouldn't have to guess. The repetition ensures they immediately link your website directly to your physical brochure or your social posts to your packaging.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself a few crucial questions whenever you sit down to work. What is the absolute most important piece of information here? Does the layout naturally lead the eye right to it? Is there a clear sense of order? Because designing with intent isn't just about blindly following rules, it's really about understanding the psychology of how we see. It's visual problem solving. By asking these questions, you stop just making things look pretty and start building a strategic roadmap for your audience.
So here's a fun, provocative challenge for you. Open up your workspace today, pull up an old project, and apply just one of the techniques we talked about. Fix the alignment, adjust the proximity of your text, or maybe just add in some intentional white space. Witness for yourself how a small, deliberate shift in composition can totally transform the impact of your message. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy designing.